Thank you, Paul. I too acknowledge that this land that we meet on today is the traditional lands of the Kaurna people, and we respect their spiritual relationship with their country. Well, isn't it wonderful to know that the Bay to Birdwood will be back this year after a couple of years of change that saw many large-scale events like the Bay to Birdwood change or were even cancelled. And for the Bay to Birdwood, actually we had both of those scenarios. In 2020, we celebrated our 40th anniversary, but we had to hold that in a changed format that saw much of the crowd gathering and mingling that we associate with the Bay to Birdwood actually reduced, or actually we didn't do any mingling at all. And then in 2021, last year, the event was cancelled. And like many others, we went online with a burst of activity to ensure that while the streets where activity had gone, the event was actually still remembered. And actually, if you haven't subscribed yet to the National Motor Museum YouTube channel, do so. You can pick up all of their great content there. On Sunday the 16th of October 2022, the Bay to Birdwood will be back on the road, and over 1,500 historic vehicles will once again gather near the sea in the suburb of West Beach and will track close to 72 kilometre route all the way to the National Motor Museum in Birdwood. As in previous years, we'll expect to see some 90,000 people gather along the side of the road in their favourite spots to view the parade. And I remember doing so myself actually as a kid and marvelling at the rare and beautiful vehicles as they pass by, and today actually having an appreciation as a participant for what a great achievement it is to actually, in a historic vehicle, get to the National Motor Museum in Birdwood. Having completed the route, we'll welcome them into the grounds of the National Motor Museum for a spectacular picnic and a festival throughout the day. It'll be a wonderful event. Today, I've been given a great privilege of making a really important announcement. In alignment with what we are seeing happen with historic vehicle community throughout the world, the Bay to Birdwood will welcome electric converted vehicles for the very first time. We will welcome them in our parade, and we will also give them their own award category, like the Concours d'Elegance for the pre-1950s vehicles and the Concours d'Elegance for the 1950 and older classic vehicles, the Preservation Class Awards. The EV conversion vehicles will need to complete the entire journey. They will need to start at Barrett Reserve, travel the full route, making their way up through the beautiful Adelaide Hills, and arrive at the National Motor Museum in Birdwood to be eligible for this award. The decision by the Bay to Birdwood to welcome EV converted historic vehicles may be seen as controversial. Internationally, the historic motoring community is always trying to ensure that historically important vehicles are being preserved in as original condition as possible. This is one of the reasons why, traditionally, the Bay to Birdwood has been scrutinised as a predominantly unmodified event. At the same time, the historic motoring community, like every other community, is looking for ways to become more sustainable, to move towards carbon net zero position. Sometimes you can't choose either or. Sometimes you need to find a solution that achieves both. Taking leadership towards carbon neutrality ensures future generations will be able to enjoy the event and these vehicles in the decades to come. The Bay to Birdwood is not a commemoration of any period of historic motoring. Rather, we celebrate the history of motoring as a whole. History is not static, and many people around the world and through Australia are currently undertaking EV conversions of their historic vehicles. It's a growing part of the history of historic motoring. Therefore, the event has an important role in encouraging conversions to be as sympathetic as possible. We want the e-converted vehicles to maintain as much of their historic integrity as they can. The History Trust curators are working hard to develop the parameters that will define leadership in this area. This is a key reason why the introduction of an award for the most aesthetically sympathetic EV conversions is another important innovation for the Bay to Birdwood this year. This represents a small but significant step forward in the Bay to Birdwood taking on a leadership position as the first, to my knowledge, global Tier 1 historic motoring event to offer an EV conversion award. Ladies and gentlemen, the great book of history is open before us. And today in Adelaide, we have the privilege of writing a clean new page. Thank you.